This pie safe is known as Grandma Betty's pie safe. And I'd like for you to look at it. You're going to see other pictures of it later on, but I'm just introducing you to it today. Notice some of the interesting features about it. It has two tall doors with tins in them. The tins are turned long ways, which is a little bit unusual for a pie safe like this. It also has three drawers opposite or up the other side, and they're over another short blind cupboard door. And then down at the bottom, I'm not sure you can see that, but there are two more drawers. They're about 4-inch tall drawers. One of them is the width of the two tin doors, and the other one is the width of the blind cupboard door and under it. So, rather unusual pie safe. I'm going to talk about that in the video. There is, this was intended to be the subject of Hard Times Chronicles #1. And I made several minutes of video about this already. Most of it's I'm not able to use most of it for technical difficulties and things that were going on when I first started trying to make videos. It just never worked out that this pie safe got in a video. It was intended to be in the kickoff video for the Hard Times Chronicles. And now it's going to be maybe, I don't know, number 20. It's going to be, I've already made 15. So this one's going to be sometime in the future. You're introduced to it today. Hello. I'm sitting in what we refer to as the dining room of my home. It's actually one big room. It includes the kitchen. The kitchen's back there behind the camera, and I'm sitting in front of the east wall of the room. I'm sitting at a table that's, you can't see it because it's covered up with tablecloths, but it's a Hard Times original. It's made from Shiloh church pews. It's got a 2-board top. This top is actually 8.5 feet long and probably about 40 inches wide, and it's 2 boards. So you're at the other end of the table with the camera. In the background, you might see this. It's a cherry dry sink, or that's what I call it, cherry dry sink. It's painted black. And it's one of the things that I've written something down about. In fact, there's several things in this room that I've written about, but that's the only one I'm going to read about today. I'm going to read what I've written about it. Then I'm going to turn the camera around. We're going to talk about something else for a little while. And then finally, I'll go around the room and give you a preview of what you're going to hear about in this room in future videos. This is what I've written about this dry sink. It says, Gary country star Terrell, in addition to being a car salesman, singer, guitar picker, and bad poker player, is an auctioneer. I bought a 5-drawer chest with glove boxes for $5 at an auction he had at his farm in Buda. It was painted an ugly black, and I really didn't want it. Before I left the sale, I offered it to another dealer for $35. Fortunately, he chose not to buy it. It wasn't until much later I discovered the chest was solid cherry and hand-built in the late 1800s. I began to see it as a dry sink. I thought of how I could complete the project many times over a long period of time. It sat in my barn gathering dust for maybe 10 years. Finally, I broke down and put it back together as a dry sink. It is still an ugly black, but its value in my eyes has increased at least tenfold. I had it for sale for $515 for a short time, but decided I liked it more than my clients and I brought it home. It probably is in my house for the duration. Rory and Tony think it is their toy box. That's not exactly the same as being designated as Grandma Betty's, but it's pretty darn close. And for those of you who don't know Rory and Tony, they are my grand dogs, Brett and Ryan's two dogs. Rory, unfortunately, has passed on, and the new little dog to replace him's name is Ike. But those dogs, when they come to the house, they come to this room and they stand in front of this black dry sink and wait for Brett or Ryan to open the door so that they can go in and get toys out of it. And anytime grandkids think something's theirs, it's pretty hard to get rid of around here.